It's only been a few days and fans all over the world are still reeling from McLaren's win at the Italian Grand Prix, brought out by none other than their very own Daniel Ricciardo. A lot took place in the prestigious event, but fans have been wondering, why didn't his teammate Lando Norris overtake him? For today's video, we'll be discussing the F1 racer's reasons and many other details, so keep watching to know more. Why didn't teammate Norris overtake Ricciardo during the race? All eyes are on Daniel Ricciardo as he won the recently concluded Italian Grand Prix, with the Australian stating that he's motivated by an innate rage to excel at said event. Shortly after he came, teammate Lando Norris, which begged fans and spectators the obvious question, why didn't he overtake Ricciardo during the race? According to the Brit, McLaren instructed Lando over the team radio to hold his position and remain in second place to avoid any chance of danger in regards to overtaking. With this, Norris happily obliged and was also excited when Ricciardo achieved his victory on the course. He expressed that he was content not to try a passing move on his stablemate because of Verstappen and Hamilton's crash, which they witnessed not too long ago. I got a bit closer on one lap and I don't know why. I had a few flashes seeing the incident between Max and Lewis because I saw it quite well in my mirrors, Norris stated after the event. So when I thought maybe I'll try to pass Ricciardo, that was flashing up in my head and I thought, nah, maybe this isn't the wisest decision. He further added, as much as I would love to go for the win, just finishing first and second, I'm just happy with it. The feeling I get for the win is the priority over my own feeling in a way. I'm here for many years, I hope, especially with McLaren and with the whole team, so I feel like I still have an opportunity in the future to try and go for it. He concluded by saying, but in this moment and instance, I was happy by just staying where I was. Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton took an unlikely exit at the Italian GP after terrifying crash. Speaking of overtaking risks, we mentioned before, said event bore witness to a horrifying event which would have been life-threatening had it been not for the halo of their vehicles. Before F1 fans witnessed Ricciardo's podium win, the world stood still as they witnessed Max Verstappen crash, which also dragged Lewis Hamilton off the course in an unlikely turn of events. The accident took place in lap 26, wherein at that time Hamilton was just about to enter turn 1 when Verstappen came in and attempted to overtake him on the precarious turn 2 chicane, with the latter forcing himself to pass through, but left with not enough room. As a result, Verstappen slid on the bumpy sausage curbs at turn 2 before colliding with the corner of Hamilton's Mercedes. Both vehicles went off course to the gravel, with Verstappen's Red Bull car sitting partially on top of Hamilton's Mercedes. It was not a high-speed crash, but it gave quite a scare since Verstappen's right rear tire made contact with Hamilton's head, which was only protected by the halo mechanism on Hamilton's car. Of course, officials were left to investigate who's at fault, with several commentators stating that it was obviously an accident. At the end of the race, the steward's final verdict was penalizing Verstappen with the 3-place grid penalty, meaning he'll have to start 3 spots below his qualifying position at the Russian Grand Prix in 2 weeks. Concerning the two, Hamilton was firm that he gave Verstappen enough space, but also stated there wasn't any room for the latter to overtake him. Max was coming. I made sure I left the car's width on the outside for him, Hamilton explained. I went into turn 1 and I was ahead going into turn 2, and then all of a sudden he was on top of me. He just didn't give away today. He knew that he was going into turn 2, what was going to happen. He knew that he was going over the curb, but he still did it. To this, Verstappen argued that he wasn't given enough room, which he took to social media. Today was very unfortunate, he wrote. The incident could have been avoided if I had been left enough space to make the corner. You need 2 people to make that work, and I feel I was squeezed out of it. When racing each other, these things can happen, unfortunately. Despite the accident and going off track, Hamilton expressed his gratitude since one of the saving graces from the event was how he escaped what might have been a gruesome accident. It's days like today I'm reminded of how lucky I am, Hamilton wrote, as a caption on his Instagram page said, it took a millisecond to go from racing to a very scary situation. Today someone must have been looking down, watching over me. My neck's a bit sore as the adrenaline wears off. It was a bit of a hit on the head, so naturally I have one big headache, but I'm doing okay. The halo stopped the crash from being a lot worse, and I am incredibly grateful to all those that worked to make our cars and racing safer. Ricciardo on winning. The crappier days made it worth it. Everyone is in a celebratory mood. Best of all, Ricciardo, who even drank champagne out of his boot while standing in the podium as a show of his trademark shoey celebration, which he managed to reel in fellow Mercedes rider Norris and McLaren CEO Zak Brown. To be honest, even if we got the start, it was never a guarantee we'd lead the whole race, but was able to hold first out in front in the first stint, Ricciardo opened. There were safety cars, there was this and that, but to lead literally from start to finish, I don't think any of us expected that. There was something in me on Friday. I knew something good was to come. I've just been a sandbagging SOB the whole year, he joked. Of his past placements, I mean thirds, fourths, fifths, you might as well just win, so that's what I did. Honestly, the August break was so good, just 3 sets, so I felt better the last 3 weekends. To not only win, but to get a 1-2, it's insane. For McLaren to be on the podium, it's huge, let alone 1-2. Before his recent win, the Australian had a slow start in his career. In recent years, with this 2018 win so far, the only silver lining at the time. Fortunately, he experienced a much-deserved stellar performance at the Belgian Grand Prix, which dictated the steady rise in his career as a racer. Deep down, I knew this was going to come, so thanks for having my back, and for anyone who thought I left, I never left, just moved aside for a while. Ricciardo expressed over radio after winning the race. Seeing how he's now sitting at the top, the new champion can't help but reminisce on his hardship, especially the days when he felt stagnant in his career. I definitely try not to make or dictate my life happiness around the sport, because it's been 3.5 years since I won, so I'd be pretty miserable most of the time if I just based my happiness on winning races. Excerpt from his interview with motorsportsweekly.com states. He elaborated further, I think through it all, and a lot has happened since Monaco in 2018, so to be back here in this moment, that's why we love the sport. It makes all those crappier days worth it, and it's as simple as that. There has been lows this year, but deep down, I never lost faith or the belief. I also think I just needed to step back and think that's where having some time off in August helped. I truly think that this helped this weekend get to this position. Admittingly, his victory at the event hasn't actually sunk in yet, according to the Australian champion. It's actually probably the first time I've been overwhelmed by winning. I think as well because it's been over 3 years or something, the new champion explained. I just know that no one would have predicted this to happen this year, especially after the first half of the year. He even embarked on a few words of wisdom that's probably relatable to all of us. It's easy to lose confidence and kind of just lose your way, but I think that's just where perspective and everything comes to fruition, and just knowing deep within yourself that it can happen, and just never doubt yourself. I think if you truly love something and believe in it, then never doubt yourself. Some of the speed bumps along the way make moments like this so much sweeter. I'm just grateful I still have a chin on my shoulder. I don't know, I'm just feeling everything right now. Ricciardo even almost shed a tear while sharing his victory speech, opening up how he has also longed to be with his family, but the pandemic made it impossible for him to do so. So far, that's all we have on today's video, why Lando Norris didn't overtake Daniel Ricciardo. The next event we're looking forward to is the Formula 1 VTB Russian Grand Prix on September 24th to the 26th. Until then, we'll keep you posted on the latest news, so don't forget to leave a like before you go. Until the next episode, see you next time.